What's going on, everyone? Good morning, good morning. Richard T, good morning. How's it going? Long time. Good to be back. Can we get a mic check here? Can you guys hear me? Make sure that. How's it going, Joseph? Good morning, good morning. How's the can you guys hear the background music? Is it too loud? Just want to make sure that want to make sure that's not too loud. That's not overpowering my voice. And if that's good, we can perfect. All right. Yeah, so I've been charting on Webull. I still have levels on the trading view, but it's not as updated. Let's see. Get things rolling here. Okay. So the top watch for today is going to be Nvidia, Nvidia and AMD. So semiconductors are really ramping up, right? They're really ramping up. So the setup for today, let's look at Nvidia really quick before the market opens. So this setup right here, right, that's shaping up is similar to what has happened back on July 7th, right? So the beginning of this week. As you can see, we made a high and we kind of consolidated in between, right? As you can see here, and then this previous resistance here acted as support in the following day, right? So this is the new day here where you came down, tested that level, right? Bounce off of that and push right up. So similar to that setup is from yesterday's price action. We had a higher day, came down, right, consolidated in between levels, and then now we're kind of gapping up. So keep an eye on this 163.30 to 164, right? This little white zone here. This can be our, break and retest. We come down, test this level, and if price gets supported, I'm interested in taking that trade. Looking for yesterday's high or all-time high target. All right. Another level that you can keep an eye on was, from this push up, you have this somewhat of a support here, right? 162.50. So that's going to be another level as well. So there's two levels that we're going to keep an eye on: the 163.40 and then the 162.50 for potential upside. Contracts I'm going to be looking at is going to be the 162.50 calls for tomorrow's expiration. Next up is going to be AMD. Monster move here. So if we look at the 30-minute time frame, it's clear as day. Right? It's clear as day. We have previous support here, right, where price was bouncing when price was right above it, and then we kind of had that sell off, right, and then created the supply here again, right, and then price just kind of just traded in between this level in the last week or two, and then we're finally getting that breakout, right? So the first level of interest that we need to watch out for is this level, right? Back on, what was this, June, like the last week of June. So let's turn this into demand. So keep an eye on this on a pullback. I don't really want to try to long this when we've had that major gap up already, right? So we closed right around that 138. Now we're trading 143. So look for pullbacks here. We're approaching somewhat of a resistance here on AMD. So if we can get a little bit of a pullback right off of this level, right around that 141.80 to 142, that's going to be my first area of interest. But really, what I want to see is a quick move to the downside, right, where this 140 level, right, previous resistance, previous resistance, right? Gapping up during pre-market. Let's see if we can get that, that deep pullback. I don't know if we are. I honestly don't like it. I think the market has to really sell off for AMD to really come revisit this 140. So I think this 141.80 to 142 will be our area of interest for today. All right, so keep an eye on that. Next up is going to be Tesla. Tesla, we have a big gap open, right, from 312 all the way down to we kind of partially filled it back on. I think this was Monday or Tuesday, right? But this acted as a resistance. This was, if you look at the 15-minute time frame here, it's pretty clear, right? Previous resistance here, right? We had the breakout, and then that acted as support. We gapped down, we tested it again, right? When we gapped down a couple days ago, that acted as a resistance there, right? And then this was somewhat of a support right around that 300 level. So keep an eye on this level here, 300 to 370. Let's make this white because this is kind of like a minor level. Let's see if we can get some dips into that 300 to 370 where price is supported. Then we can take that to the upside, targeting this week's high right around that 303.70 into that 305. Again, 305 would be another level that I'm going to keep an eye on, right? If we get a clean break off of this 305 level here, off of this supply, I think we might see some gap fill, right? Because we have a huge gap fill there. So keep an eye on that. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? It's 9:23, so we have about 7 minutes left. So Tesla, we went over Tesla, Nvidia, and AMD. Let's put AMD here. Let's look at SPY really quick, or the Qs actually. So let's use the QQQs here as our gauge when playing the heavy tech watch list that we have. So we have AMD, Nvidia, and Tesla, right? Keep an eye on this one. As long as we're supported, the first area of interest would be this, right? As long as we're supported here at this 555 level, I think we look good. We look good for more upside. All-time highs is right around that 557.63. Um, we had, we had a perfect break and retest in yesterday, right? In yesterday's price action where we had this previous resistance here, and then yesterday we had that major move to the upside, came down, retested it, and supported. So bullish market, right? Dips continue to get bought up. So I like the structure here, right? We broke out of this consolidation zone. Now we're kind of establishing the next market structure, which is right around this box. Are we going to get that breakout for that next market structure, or are we going to consolidate here, right? Are we just going to consolidate here again? So let's see. Right, so first area of interest will be this 555. Next up, right, as long as we're above this level, I don't think we need to look for shorts currently unless we see some pretty heavy selling pressure. Right, so keep an eye on that. That's going to be my two areas of interest. Going to be using QQQs as my market gauge and market kind of confluence. Right, if QQQ starts to come up to this 555 and supported while AMD and Nvidia is at that area of interest that we listed, then I'm going to take a stab at that. Right, so that's Qs. SPY, same thing, right? A little bit, I think I like this structure better than the Qs, right? It's somewhat similar. 622, right? This is your previous highs, or previous resistance here, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here, where we kind of broke right below it, but there was a lot of volume that was happening at that level. So as long as we're trading right above this level, as long as price is supported here, I think price wants to go higher. Right, price wants to go higher. So I like that level. 622, all-time highs is right around that 626.28. Little bit of supply here, right around the 624.60 to 625.20. So I wouldn't want to try to play the long side, right? If price starts to come up here, I wouldn't want to play the long side here, right? Because this is where we could potentially get rejected. If anything, I want to see a strong push to the upside, right, where we take out the supply zone and then we get a retest, right, where price creates a higher low, right, and then we see some bullish price action here, and that's where I'll look for another. I'll look for an entry there for an all-time high target. All right, so that's going to be my plan for today. SPY and QQQ, and then the semiconductors, AMD and Nvidia. Try to be patient today. Look for those pullbacks. I wouldn't want to try to, chase the move. We're already kind of gapping up. Another side watch I'm going to keep an eye on is Mara. So Mara and Coin's a little bit expensive on the option side. Coin is also setting up pretty well, right? So the Bitcoin related stocks are really ramping up while Bitcoin's trading at all-time highs. So keep an eye on this one. The areas of interest is going to be the $18 mark for Mara. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. What's everyone's watching for today? Let's see. Ew. That's funny. Same. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. And the delay is not that bad, right? I have the time clock here, so you guys can tell if you guys have a lag or not. You revert this to the 5 minute time frame, and then we're gonna go to the 2 minute time frame once the 15 minute orb is created. Keep an eye here on Tesla. We're now retesting that 300 level before the market open. 10-second delay. That's not bad. It's not bad. All right, guys. 30 seconds until market opens. Stay patient today. I don't know if we have any economic events that's coming out after the market opens. Let's see. We have 30-year bond auction today at 1 p.m. and then we have some Fed speakers. All right, here we go. Good luck, guys. Good luck, good luck. Yeah, 30-year at 1. Nvidia coming down. Tesla bouncing off of that 300 level currently. QQQs nearing all-time highs, testing that supply zone. I'm gonna put this to the 2 minute time frame, guys, okay? It's pre-market high. Getting some rejection there now on the Qs right around that supply level. Nvidia coming down. We're testing. We're about to test this our first area of interest. All right, we're on that 163.50. So keep an eye on that one. AMD, geez, making a big move already. Tesla, holy, 305, 300 bounce to the T. Nvidia, AMD making a push here. Let's put Nvidia 165. It's pretty far out the money. I think let's keep the 162.5 calls, or we can even look at next week's actually. Next week's contracts for Nvidia 165. Let's put that on our watch. Hey Rob W. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back. All right, guys, Nvidia at our first area of interest, right? This is where we need to start watching the tape, as you can see here, right, on the 15-minute time frame. Watch the tape. This is the tape here. This is the order book, and this is the time and sales. What we need to see on the time and sales are either absorptions or we see some strong aggressive buyers stepping in right off of that level. Currently, I'm not seeing anything. QQQ is coming down. If QQQs come down to this level here at 555 and support it, while Nvidia is sustaining value at this level, I'm interested in that. Right? I'm interested in that. That's going to be a confluence there. Nvidia breaking down that level. The next level of interest will be the 162.50. Keep an eye on Tesla here, right at this pre-market high level. All right, so this level here, 302-ish. That's where VWAP is as well. That's going to be an aggressive entry for me. If we can come down and test this level here, right? Test that level, and we see some buying pressure there. I'm interested in taking that to the upside. Looking for a scalp, probably going to target high a day first, and if we can clear through a 5, guys, we might see some gap fills, right? What we talked about during the pre-market. So keep an eye on that. Trade is invalidated. If I take this trade, the trade will be invalidated if we close below 300. So if you're going to participate in that trade, right, we're looking for an entry here, right? Our stop loss is going to be below 300, right? And then if we do get that entry, we're looking for a high day target first. And if we can get a high day break, I think we can see some gap fills here. So Tesla and Nvidia on top watch for me right now. It's high day already for Tesla. AMD pulling back a little bit. Let's look at 142 as well. 143. Some buying wicks at this level here on Nvidia. Just a reminder, if I get into the position, you'll be able to see it here on the right side of my screen. Right here. If I get into the position, it's going to pop up here. Contracts that I'm watching for today is right here on the right hand side. Just not load it. Really liking the buying that's happening here on Nvidia, and then we have about what we have resting orders right around that 163.25. You can see it on the tape. Just looking for a confirmation here. Tesla's just going. Jeez. You're in that gaffle already for Tesla. Look at this. You're in the process of filling now. I was trying to get a retest off of this level. It's making a move. Anyone caught that? I was trying to be conservative. I still need a pullback there. I think now, guys, 305, right? So 305 is now the level that I'm going to keep an eye on. 304 to 305. That's going to be my area of interest. Just a sell order there at 163.63 for Nvidia, about 16K. I want to see how that gets filled. Watching the time and sales here. Anybody here trading futures as well? Or are you guys just trading options? Options. Ron, trading futures as well. Nice. Yeah, I have ES running in the background. I am also trading futures. Nothing on that front as well. I mean, if I'm gonna trade futures, I'm also trading SPY. I'm really liking this hold here on the Qs. I'm liking the hold here on Nvidia at our level. The thing is, we're not seeing any confirmation of, buyers want to push this up, right? So right now they're not being aggressive, right? What they're doing is they're just holding the price up. We need to see some type of aggressive buyer stepping in. Would like to see for QQQs, a quick dump into this gray zone here, where we see like a wicking action, right? That's going to be my indication there. Mara somewhat holding this level at 18. All right, AMD. I mean Nvidia. Keep an eye on Nvidia here. Nvidia 162.5 calls. The 165 may work, but it's a little further out the money, right? It's a little further out the money given the fact that it's tomorrow's expiration. So 162.5 calls. I'm keeping an eye on that. Again, if I take this trade, stop loss will be right below that level. It's already making a move. Damn it. That's what we wanted to see. All right. Stop loss is going to be below 163.30 right here. 2-minute candle close below that level. All right. Keep an eye on that. I'm looking for an entry here now for Nvidia. Looking to target previous day high, which is at 164.42, and then pre-market high, which is around that 164.84. Mara bouncing off of that level that we talked about, currently at 18. The spreads on that one is a little nasty. $2 spread. SPY making a move here. QQQ's low day. Another low day there for the Qs. Keeping a close eye here on Nvidia. AMD's coming down. Q's coming down a little bit. It's another low day there for the Q's. All right, keep an eye here on Nvidia. Same thing with Tesla here. By the way, guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit that thumbs up. Yeah, KQQ is coming down here now. The next level for the Qs is going to be this 553. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tesla. Tesla's also looking good. Tesla is also looking good. Nvidia continues to get defended there. Not seeing any indication yet, guys. I'm liking Nvidia here, but gotta wait for confirmation. Just 13,000 sitting at 163.30. QQQ, another low day. So this is why we wait for confirmation and confluences. That's kind of a heavy sell hit there on the Qs. Same thing with SPY. That's low day there for SPY. Mara continuing to get defended at this $18 mark. So the next, again, the next level, I'm keeping an eye on the Qs, right? This green zone here, 554 to 553.50, right? This was your previous resistance there, previous resistance there. Yesterday we had that push up, got rejected off of previous supply, retested it in yesterday's session. It held multiple times. Again, this is on the 15-minute time frame. So that's going to be my next level of interest. Are we going to hold here? Are we going to have that same price action that we had yesterday? Tesla holding view up currently. Nvidia coming down. Jeez. All right. No longer interested in that. Good thing we didn't hop on that. It's kind of also bear flagging, right? But into a support, so it really wasn't trying to short into the support zone there. So the next level I'm interested in is the 162.50, and I think we're just filling this gap here. Still continuing to watch that Nvidia there. Again, the reason why we were interested in that, right? This was previous resistance. We wanted to see if that was holding. In previous actions, right? Previous resistance, the next following day, it acted as support, push right up. In this case, you got a little long wick there, right? Did not sustain. Overall market sentiment is intraday, right? Intraday is a little bearish here. So the next level we're looking at is here, 162.50. If 162.50 starts to break, that is the level that I'm interested in for a potential breakdown and retest to short, targeting this 161 level. Keep an eye on this Qs off of this zone. Keep an eye on Nvidia off of that level. AMD as well. It's 142. Let's look at NVIDIA's book. AMD's book. Oh, Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi just made a new trade. She bought AVGO stock. She bought it in June 20th, around June 20th. Of course. Of course. Where's AVGO right now? Let's look at AVGO. She bought it in June 20th. Yep, before the pump. She bought it right around this level and then gapped up. Keep an eye here on Nvidia, guys. Remember what I said? QQQ is bouncing off of that level. The next level of interest with Nvidia was 162.50. Currently, we're getting that bounce. Same thing with Tesla here, right around that 302. Now let's see if we can hold this. We want to be the first buyer. Let's see if we can hold this. If we can hold it for Nvidia, I'm grabbing the 162.5 calls. Same thing with AMD, right? Let's look at AMD real quick. So there's trades right now that we can execute on, right? AMD, remember what I said about that 142, 140. That's the next level that we want to keep an eye on. Currently getting those bounces right now. But look at Qs. Qs needs to hold this level. I would like the Qs to hold this level here for me to be uh, for me to execute the Nvidia or AMD trade. Confluence, confluence, confluence. If the major index is looking weak, more than likely the individual stock is going to get that same reaction, right? Another low day there for the Qs. I honestly did not have a plan to short the market today. I was looking for pullbacks. Six two nine six for the ES futures. yesterday's low. Let me adjust this level here for the Qs. The low of yesterday was 553, and that's what we're currently getting a bounce at. Let's delete this. Let's put Come on, Q, show me something. Show me that you want to hold here. She doesn't. AMD bounced off of that 142 level that we talked about, but again, no trades for me. Kikiku's is struggling to hold this level. I want to see some stabilization here on the Qs. Same thing with SPY. It's low day there for Nvidia. That's not looking good. If the market leader starts to show weakness here, that's not looking good for the market. Look at Nvidia flushing through. That's not good. Probably going to fill this whole volume gap here. Jeez. This is looking dangerous for the Qs, to be honest. If we start to break this level, yikes. You're back inside the range of this level again. Which I don't like. Shoot. Just like. Tesla making a move here now. We are holding here on the Qs. Still not giving me confidence, but I'm liking Tesla here. So I'm looking at the 310 calls for tomorrow's expiration. If I do take the trade, as you can see here for my R&R graph, right, my stop loss is going to be below 302. Looking to take profits around a high day first, and then really going for that 310, 312 level. So keep an eye here on Tesla. I'm not in it yet. Not in it yet. Again, if you're going to follow this trade, right, the trade is invalidated if you get a candle close below 302. So this is currently on the 2-minute time frame. So I'm using the 2-minute time frame as my stop, a candle close below that as my stop. Probably going to size small on that trade. SPY getting a little bit of a push up here. Can we get some follow throughs here? Come on. AMD making a move there. Still in the downtrend, guys. Still in the downtrend. Intraday. We just draw this line for viewing purposes. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower lows, lower lows. Same thing with the Qs, right? Lower high, right? Lower high, lower high. Lows, lower lows, lower lows. We have not changed structure here. Relative strength currently is Tesla, right? We got the bounce off of that 302 level, which was pre-market high. You got to bounce off of that. Need to see some confirmation here. Needs to see some confluences. You can't enter here on Tesla. I think the risk to reward that doesn't make sense here. Let's see Tesla. SPY's getting a little bit of a volume here. All right, guys. QQQs. Tomorrow's contracts, or we can actually get away with today's contracts. Today, zero DTs. If you're not familiar with zero DTs, please do not trade them. I am looking at the 554 calls. The reason why is if you look at the Qs, right? You tested yesterday's low and you're holding it. This is on the 15-minute time frame. So you got that wick, buying wick here, right? Currently holding. So keeping an eye on this one. If we can get a pullback, which create a higher low, that's going to be my entry. My stop loss is going to be below low a day. Still in a downtrend. I'm looking for a target of 555 or VWAP, right? VWAP to 555.15. I would like to see SPY lead today. Right, I would like to see break above 624 for me to be interested. Man, AMD is going. She is going. Let's see if we can get a close above 624 here on SPY, which is a good sign. Get pushed there on SPY. Mara, good hold off of that 18 level. How you guys doing? Did you guys take any trades yet? I am sitting on my hands currently. Do you have a video on order book and time of sales? No, I don't. I should make a video. Or maybe I should just make an example here on what I'm seeing. I think this is the best example. Let me get back into the groove of things, Richard T, and then once I get get some practices here in live stream, I'll start creating those videos. Right now, I think I'm feeling a little out of it. I need to get some reps in. There's the pullback. Just not getting it, guys. You see this? Like, imagine if we tried a long here on Qs right off of this push, right? Since we made this, imagine. Look at this push down. This is why I'm being very picky of trying to time this this long entry here. Newbie, yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, this is my first live stream in a long time. So trying to get gonna slow down, trying to get back into things. See if I start liking this again during the live stream because I miss having a community. I think this is a good start. Time to build a community, fellas. Let's do it. Can I get a? I really can't get a good read. If I'm looking to short this for the Qs, I would like to see a test of this level here, 555 to 555.15 for me to short into. I don't think I can try to short at the lows and right at demand zone. Same thing with Nvidia. If I'm looking to short this, let me adjust this 163.20. 163.20. This is going to be my level of interest for a short. Let me change this to supply. Right? Price goes up here, price gets rejected. That's going to be my short entry. If I want to play the long here, I mean, we're at the area of interest, right? You're just looking for a quick scalp into the VWAP or into this zone here. Still in a downtrend. Tesla here, lower highs, but you're still creating a higher low here. Let's see if we can continue to hold this level for that next leg up. SPY could not hold 624. Just couldn't. What's your sentiment today, guys? Are you guys bearish? Are you guys bullish? And what trades are you guys looking into? Right now, I'm not really seeing much. I was looking for this QQQ long trade, giving me an entry, not giving me confirmation. Tesla here. I mean, we could scalp this. Still need QQQs to cooperate. Neutral, Tesla QQQ. Yeah. Bearish. Yeah, certainly bearish in the price action intraday. But the thing is, Robert W, how like where would you try to short this? Right? Where's a good risk to reward to short, I don't know, Qs, SPY? Not seeing a good one. Or a good level to short into. For Nvidia, I was looking at this level here, 163. Qs was right at this level, 555. SPY nowhere. I was waiting for this zone to get hit. SPY, there's a big liquidity there sitting at the lows, right? 623. There's a big liquidity level there. Uh, that's why it kind of bounced off of its level. So see if that gets liquidated and we trade back above really quick, that could be our entry for SPY for long. But if it breaks and then this low starts to act as a resistance, that could also be our entry. For right now, there's just want to give you guys a heads up. There's a liquidity there sitting at 623, meaning there's a passive buyer, right? There's a limit order that's sitting right at that level. You get back under 624. That's a good short actually, because that was the level that I was looking at to hold, right? If we can hold 624, that could be a good long, and rejected there. So good short. Good short. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Nothing much going on. Let's see if there's any news. No news. So main watch for today, guys. All right, is Tesla. All right, Tesla and AMD. AMD right now, currently, you got that bounce off of that 142. Again, what I said was I was looking for a confluence here with the Qs, right? Relative strength. You bounce off of that 142, even when Qs was making lower lows here. So keep an eye on this. This could also, if we can start sustaining value above this white zone, right? I think you can move higher into that 146.20. This is the beginning of my higher time frame supply. 146.20 to 148. Remember, when you're entering trades, right, make sure you understand where your risk is, like where your stop loss is. If you're not comfortable with the stop loss, right, where, for example, if you're taking this trade here, again, this trade is valid as long as you hold above 142, right? If you're gonna enter here and if your stop loss is right above there, I mean that's not good risk reward, right? This drawdown is right about probably what 40-50%. All right, so somewhat of a double bottom here now in the Qs. Uh, Qs, keeping an eye here on the 554 calls. I'm gonna size small on this one. Stop loss is gonna be below, again, same thing, right? Below 553. Right, a candle close below that level. So 554 calls, keeping an eye on it, right? Not in that position yet. It will show up here on the top right corner if I get into the position. It'll show up here. AMD making a move while Nvidia is showing weakness. Appreciate it, Indofusion. I recognize that name. Crazy how Nvidia is selling off while AMD is making a push. Watching this again here on SPY. If we can sustain value at 624, I'm interested. What's SMH doing? Pennant forming here, or wedge on Tesla. AMD just making a push. Sheesh. That's high day there for AMD, guys. Crazy. It's killing him, Apple. Because Apple is pushing. Apple is actually pushing. AMD was a trade. Man, that 142 hold. Sheesh. Hindsight, hindsight. AMD was a trade. Even with Apple pushing, what else is pushing? I think Nvidia coming down. Um, how's Amazon? Amazon's down 1%. Google's down. Meta's down. Microsoft is down. So everything is down besides Apple. So everything is down for, or Tesla. Tesla and Apple are up for the day. Everything else is down on the Mag 7. And Q is going. SPY. That's high day there for SPY. That's a beautiful move there. 624. So now, guys, here's going to be my level. All right. Pullbacks here are welcome. QQQs, double bottom, pushed up into that VWAP. But again, it was a very slow price action there. Apple, high day. Nice. I'm just not follow throughs. There's no follow throughs. Even the Qs. It's not really a follow through here. The only thing that's having a follow through is SPY here. Now we're gonna see the pullbacks. So pullbacks into this zone, guys. This is where the move happened, or that's where the push happened with volume. That's where I'm looking to get into on SPY. We can get that pullback. Let's look at the bigger picture here. Let's adjust this. Yesterday's high. I might join you on that Tesla trade soon. think this run up here on the Qs is going to be short-lived if Nvidia continues to show weakness here. Eye on Tesla here, 310 calls. Watch the time in sales, seeing some aggressive orders coming through the tape, hitting above the ask. I'm in a small position here on Tesla. I got into the 310 calls. You can see that my average price is 231. Stop loss is going to be the same, 302. Looking for a high day target first, see if we can get that push. I wouldn't want to see a rejection off of this level here. I would like to see it take over that level, right? And then we just make a lower, higher high, higher low there. Just looking for a quick scalp. Again, looking to target high day. If we break high day with ease, I think that's going to look good. Again, small position on this one. Saw those aggressive buys, seeing it on the tape. That's the reason why I got into it. About 4%, 3-4% here. Good stuff, Richard T. That's a good entry you got. Not seeing much resistance here. Not seeing anything on the tape. All right, we're up about 7% here. We can target 310. Q's getting a little bit of a push. If we could start getting above this 555 area, I'm a little interested in that as well. Some strong aggressive buyers here on SPY as well. Yeah, just taking high day. Dun, dun, dun. So you got a rejection here up at this pivot high, but we took it out, right? We took it out. So now what we want to see is we do not want this to take out this 302. We do not want it to make a new low, right? We would want it to, ideally, we want it to hold above VWAP here for Tesla. Apple getting a little bit of a pullback. Let's remove this. Just need some volume here and continuation on Tesla. If we can see some aggressive buyer steps in, we could get a strong push off of this high day. I like the setup. I like it. Another high day there for SPY. QQQ is trying to get above VWAP. Come on, just need volume here, Tesla. Man, it's already 10:50. We got like 10:52. We got like 10 more minutes, less than 10 minutes. Come on, Tesla. Let's make a push before we head out here. Let's make a push. Keep an eye here on Nvidia as well. Starting to see some buyers stepping in. Good push there on the Qs above VWAP. Nvidia here as well, right? So you're kind of pivoting off of this previous high. Want to see if we can get above that level and we start to base above that level. I'm also interested in Nvidia here. But the thing is, it's such a short range because there might be some supply here. Really liking these buyings here on Tesla. We just need volume. Q's getting a little bit of rejection here at VWAP. All right, guys, going forward, right? If we do get a pullback here, watch for SPY, right? 624 to 624.30. As long as this price is supported, right? You're looking for higher, right? Look for a pullback where buyers defend this level for the next leg up, right? All-time highs is right around 626.28. I'm not saying that that's going to get taken out today, but as long as we stay above this level, I think we look good for more upside. With the Qs, right? 553, this zone here, as long as we're defended there, we look good. But really, guys, once we start getting above this 555.40 to 555.50, that is your multiple confirmation that the market wants to go higher. And we're probably going to tap that all-time highs again. Nvidia, sit tight on this one. I don't think today's the day to try to go against the trend off of Nvidia, right? We made a bear flag here. We made a move to the downside, right? So we're intraday bearish on Nvidia for now, right? I really wanted that 163 to hold, or even this 162 is starting to hold now, but really wanted to hold see that 163 for that next leg up, but we didn't. So relative weakness is Nvidia, Amazon, and Microsoft in the background as well. Relative strength today is Apple and Tesla and AMD. Those are the ones that are green out of the Mag 7 stocks. So I still like Tesla here, right? We're getting a little bit of a pullback, right? But I still like it. I like the buying that's happening despite it consolidating. We just need some aggressive buyers to step into this, right? Once the next time we test this 306, 306.45 to 306.50, this is where buyers need to really, start getting aggressive on that buy orders, right? And I think if we can clear that 306.40, 306.50, high day is probably gonna get taken out. And we're looking to, really target that 310 into that, with a final target around that 313.20 level. Right. So on a bigger screen, right, this is what we're seeing. We talked about this during the pre-market. right? Where we wanted to see a closure above the 303, 305. We got that. That's where we're getting supported, right? We're in the process of filling the gap as long as we are supported right above these levels, right? I think we look good for higher, right? So position size accordingly. Like I said, I size small on this one, risking about 30% on this contracts to make about, I mean, if we take higher day with these, I think I'm gonna possibly hold this into that gap fill, right? Maybe start trimming around that 310 and then 312 to 313, right? So I like the setup on Tesla. Just need some volume there. AMD, I think we missed it. We missed the 142 bounce. Still a watch for today. We might just consolidate within this zone, right? Within this zone here. We might get a little, the next push up is probably going to be later this afternoon. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to stay a while for a little bit until probably 11:15, maybe 11:30. I just want to see how this pans out for Tesla. But if we don't get a move, I'm just going to head out and then we'll resume tomorrow morning, right? 9:15. So make sure you're here during the pre-market analysis so you understand what we're looking at, what levels we're watching. So then when the market opens, all we need to pay attention to is the price action. Anything in between our levels, noise. Here's some aggressive buyers here on Tesla, as you can see on the tape here, right? It's what we want to see. As you can see, it's reflected on the candlestick formation. You can see all these greens, highlighted greens. Those are aggressive buys. Those are older orders getting filled at the ask. If you guys are confused, where I'm looking at is right here, highlighted. This is the time and sales. There's the push. More aggressive buyers, as you can see here, right? Green, especially if they're highlighted in green, that means they're getting filled above the ask. Buyers need to continue to be aggressive here, right? This is where the resistance is. This is where we need to start getting aggressive. We cannot stop here. They need to continue. We're in the green. We're up about 5% here. Also, just want to note, if you're new here, it's your stop loss, right? Your risk and your take profit appetite is based on your account size, or how you feel. You don't necessarily need to follow where I'm going to exit, how I'm going to manage my trade, right? It is up to you. It is up to your discretion. We're finally getting the break here. So this is what we need to see. Still more aggressive buyers here that's coming in the tape, right? Which is a good sign on our position. We're up about 10% here. If you're happy with this trade, you can most certainly take some trims, move your stop loss, whatever the case may be. As you can see here, right, on the reds, there's sellers, right? Sellers are starting to creep in as well. That's why you're getting that rejection. The bull's job is to reclaim this level and get some candlestick, candle closure above that level. That's what we need to see. Don't like how Qs are continuing to get rejected here. I do not like that. If we get rejected again on this next push, I'm going to close out my Tesla position. I want to see a reclaim above this level. I want to see a push up, right, where it gets defended. High day there um, on SPY. She's really pushing. SPY is really pushing. Come on, Qs, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Richard T killing it on Tesla. All right, watch this next push here on Tesla. We need to really start pushing here. I do not want to see pullbacks on this next push. I would like to see high day get taken out on this next push. It's a battleground here. It's a battleground. There's a little bit of liquidity there at 305.50. I want to see how that reacts. You can see here, 305.50. I think you removed that order. What time is it? 11:08. Another high day there for SPY. Around 11:15 to 11:30, we might see some volatility. 11:30 is Europe market close. No, I do not. Webull, Webull don't have that capability yet, but soon. They said I reached out to them. They've already introduced a early version of writing your own script. So hopefully by next year we'll be able to, and I'll share it with you guys if we do, or if they do it. I did not trim, by the way. I'm still I the reason why I didn't trim because I'm in a small position, right? I was only up what I think the high of that was 11%. Did not take profits. I'm still holding small position or my original position. I'm actually looking to add if we can start getting above this level, that 306. If we can start pushing up here, right? And if we start to sustain value above here, I am looking to add into this. Right now, currently, I mean, we're just chopping right above you up. Still like it. I still like the setup. The only time that I would trim, right, that I would trim around 10-15% if I'm in a full position. I think you've seen my previous videos on what my full position is. Usually range around, between three to 5K. Look, geez, look at Nvidia. Wow, low day there. What's going on? Is there news on that? It's not. You literally erase all the pre-market run up and yesterday's price action and yesterday's run up. You're about to erase that, or you're about to retrace that whole move. President Trump, this was 43 minutes ago. He said tech stocks, industrial stocks, and Nasdaq hit all-time high records. Crypto through the roof. Nvidia is up 47% since Trump tariffs. USA is taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. Country is now back. That was 43 minutes ago. And now we just made low a day for Nvidia. All right, guys, I'm gonna stay another 15 minutes here. 11:30 is my cutoff. I got to do some. I got to do some stuff. If you guys want to keep in contact with me, there's a link right below this stream or this YouTube live. Right, my Twitter handle. You can message me there, and I'm gonna start being active on that one. Right, posting any setups that I might like. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my best. Right? I'm gonna try to go live here on YouTube every day from 9:15 to 11. AMD is not pulling back. Good. Good, Richard T. I don't know if I told you, but I just had a baby. Third baby. Last month. So 3 boys. 3 boys. Thank you, thank you. Thanks, Joseph. QQQ looking good, guys. Higher low, a low, higher low, higher low, right? Higher high, higher high. Are we gonna get that higher high here? I sound like your wife deliver. That's funny. How's everyone trading, by the way? How you guys been doing good the past couple months? You guys doing well? You guys are in profit? Been a tough market to follow. A lot of bad news, right? A lot of bad news. A lot of tariffs. A lot of just a lot of negative stuff that's been happening, and the market seems to, every dip seems to get bought up, which is crazy. We're in a bullish market. Come on, Tesla. What do you want to do? Do you want to just consolidate here, or are we going to get this push? The delay is not that bad, right? You said 10 seconds. I wonder if I can lower it to 5. I need to see. I need to play around with the settings. I think 10 seconds is the most they can do, or is the least they can do. Nine seconds. Yeah, so about 10 seconds. I think for a swing also, I think I like Apple for a swing into earnings. One of the big laggards here. If you look at the 4 hour or even the daily time frame here, if we can get above this level here, the two, like 213, 214, I really like it for a move to the upside, targeting 219, 220, and then right above that, I think you got some pretty good move right above that level. I mean, we've been below this level for since April, right? On Apple, and earnings is coming up. I think Apple can be a good mover. All right, 5 more minutes. Good recovery there on Nvidia. 162.8. Let me adjust this. Q is trying to get above VWAP now. That's a good thing. Q's is getting a little bit of a push here. Same thing with SPY. I think it wants to take out high day again. Just wish we could have gotten that pullback there. Keep an eye here on Qs around that 555.15 to 555.40. And Tesla's muted after Q's getting above you up. Come on, Tesla. Let's do something. Q's is really making a move now. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it here. Again, you guys know what the plan is for Tesla, right? We need to get above that 306, 306.50 to 306. We need to start basing there for me to be confident that we're gonna get that move, right? As long as we're defended above 302, right? I'm willing to hold this position. Again, I'm looking to add into this if we can start getting above that 305, 306 level, right? Make sure you guys, there was a lot of trades to be had, right? Hindsight wise, right? What we were looking for a bounce off of, on the Qs off of this level, and then AMD, Nvidia was the only one that didn't pan out, right? Tesla had that bounce. We'll see if we can get some good continuation or good movement tomorrow, right? As always, you guys have a good one. Make sure you guys like and subscribe this video and share it to your friends, family, right? During the live stream. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning. Peace, everyone.